What's up, Bills Mafia? I got 8 takeaways from the Bills' 53-man initial roster. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, I got 8 takeaways from the Bills' initial 53-man roster. And once again, I want to send a special shout out to Bills Wire, who made this article. So let's get to it. So 8 takeaways, and let's see their first. Gave up on Basham. No two ways about it. The Bills gave up on Boogie Basham, a former second-round pick. He was dealt to the New York Giants for a swap of late-round picks. It was either him or A.J. Epinesa on their way out, per reports. Who is another failed round 2 selection? Neither appear to be in the team's long-term future. Listen, I agree with that as well. I do not see them re-signing A.J. Epinesa after this season. He will be obviously a free agent after this season, so I don't see them giving him an extension or re-signing him in the offseason. And he was also a second-round draft pick. The one thing about AJ compared to Boogie was AJ did have a step forward last year with the 6.5 sacks, so he's shown that he can still provide something his final year here in Buffalo. Boogie Basham, though, he did show some flashes here and there. They just weren't enough. And this preseason, I kind of felt like they were showcasing him early. And I said it multiple times, that they probably were going to trade Boogie Basham. I said it in the offseason. I said it in preseason, especially when they threw him out there early in week 1. And, listen, I wish the guy well. Maybe he'll flourish in New York. But right now we have a full room on the line, and, there was somebody had to go. And it does suck that we only got a 6th-round pick, because basically what happened, guys, is we sent him to New York. They gave us a 6th. We gave them a 7th as well. And we did save about 1.2 or 1.5 on the salary cap. So we did save a little bit of money by getting rid of Boogie Basham. It wasn't a crazy amount of money, but it could be used for a player, right? Like a backup quarterback, a middle linebacker, just whatever player, another offensive lineman. So we did need the money. We didn't need the extra player on the roster that wasn't going to probably see any playing time anyway. So I understand the move. And by the way, guys, it happens all the time in the NFL. GMs are not perfect. They make mistakes. There's 1st-round picks that are, out there retired, right? Like that didn't make it, that are or floating around, right? NFL teams. Not every GM gets it right, but I respect the GMs that go, hey, I made a mistake. Let me get something back in return, rather than just letting this guy go to waste, this pick go to waste, and him sit on the roster for no reason, right? So though we didn't get the greatest return, 6th round, and he was a 2nd round, it is what it is, guys. So I understand the trade. It makes sense to me. Some of you guys, you're not on board with it, and I understand. Y'all got your opinions, but I just think it came down to him, A.J. Epinesa, or Shaq Lawson. And the truth is, Shaq Lawson was our best run defender, and you can't get rid of a guy like that. You just can't. So, and I felt like AJ did more than Boogie. He's shown more progress here in Buffalo. So it made sense to keep AJ over Boogie. And by the way, teams were calling for AJ Epinesa. So teams were interested. But at the end of the day, they went ahead and shipped out Boogie. So let's get to the next. Next on the list here is young O lineman is the way. I agree. And by the way, I agree. And I've been saying this since the McBean era started. The Bills have a slight youth movement on the offensive line. Alec Anderson, Ryan Van DeMark are in. David Questenberry and Ike Bacher are out. Both were released, and the players who spent time on the practice squad have graduated to the active roster for now, at least. So, yeah, I agree. Listen, Van DeMark has had a great preseason. He looked the par every time he came in to fill in for Deion Dawkins. He looked sharp. At right tackle, the first go about, which was, I believe, week 1, he didn't look too good at right tackle. But at week 3, when he went shift over at right tackle, he actually looked pretty good as well. So I see him more as a left tackle. But either way, it's good to see that our younger offensive linemen are taking that step forward. And, we're starting to cut ties with the older offensive linemen that are struggling late in their career. And Questenberry is one of them. Questenberry wasn't a bad player in his NFL career. He just hit a point where, he's just not what he was, right? And same thing with Saffold last year, right? Saffold was a very good offensive lineman in Tennessee for a long time, but unfortunately for him, his age just caught up to him, and he just was not the same. So I was tired of going out and getting these older players on 1-year deals that just weren't working out. And he did it year after year. And it was good to see that this offseason he went out, he drafted Osiris Torrance, which I was begging for. And he went out and got also McGovern, who's a younger offensive lineman, David Edwards, right? He also got some other offensive linemen in the draft, UDFA. So it's good to see that he's going that approach now instead of the approach of the older offensive linemen that are just hanging around in free agency. So that's why you'll see a better offensive line. It's still not complete, in my opinion. There's still, a lot of things that need to be probably figured out. Spencer Brown, which we all know is probably the biggest question mark. I still think he can be the guy. This year will tell it all. If he can't, if he's still struggling with the same things as he's been throughout his career here in Buffalo so far, then yeah, it's probably time to move on, draft yourself a right tackle, or get a good free agent that's out there next year. More than likely, it'll be through the draft since the salary cap is pretty much not there to spend this coming up offseason. So draft yourself another right tackle, get young at that position. But right now, I like what I see from the Buffalo Bills offensive line. So next on this list, let's get to it. Another classic Reed Summer. Yeah, this is funny how they do this. Long snapper Reed Ferguson has been cut again. But again, he'll be back. It's the Bills' classic off-season move. Cut Ferguson with a wink and resign him after making other moves. He'll be back. They've done this before. I agree. They've done this multiple times. There's no reason to worry. So if you're a Bills fan, you understand how the business side works, how this side works. There's always little ways around, getting your 53 set, and this is one of them. They know the deal. We've done this multiple times, so yeah, he'll be right back in a Bills uniform. So no stressing on that, guys. All right, next one. Von not ready, which, by the way, I told you guys. Listen, I told you guys when Trey White, right? When you all were like, oh, Trey White opening, he's going to be back week 1. He's practicing. He's looking good and practicing. I'm like, guys, he's not really practicing, right? He's rehabbing. And you all don't understand how ACLs work. It takes a while, right? Especially when they have the ACL surgery so late in the season, like Trey White did, like Von Miller did. Especially his age as well. And I just don't feel like it's good to rush a guy back anyways like that. And the fact that you sign Leonard Floyd, there's no reason to rush him back. So he'll be back, in my opinion, week 5, week 6. But Von Miller ready by opening day? Nope. He's remaining on the PUP list, which means he won't play until week 5. The Bills' first 5 games are at the Jets, home against the Raiders, at Commanders, home against the Dolphins, home against the Jaguars in London. So that's not really a home game. But excuse me. But listen, when I have a feeling that he's going to be back around week 6. I don't think he's going to play that London game. I think you can see him week 6, week 7. They'll gradually put him in there. I don't think he'll have a lot of snap count early on. Like his snap counts will be kind of low. As the season goes on, when he returns, he'll get more snap counts as the season goes on, heading into the playoffs. That's how I see Von Miller being used this season. Coming back from that ACL, and it makes sense. There's no reason, right? Listen, Leonard Floyd's been averaging 9 sacks over the last 3 seasons. Gregor Rousseau doubled his sacks last year from 4 to 8. You got AJ Epinesa, who also took a step forward last year, who got 6.5. So if all these guys could take another step forward, we'll be just fine without Von for a little while, right? And then once Von gets back, then it's going to be real fun because then you can do a lot of little shifting around there and do a lot more exotic type blitzes. Depending on your personnel, who you want in there. But yeah, I'm excited to get him back. But I don't see him coming back to at least week 6, week 7. All right, next on the list that they got here is another quarterback to come? Question mark. Matt Barkley, elbow, was placed on an injury reserve before roster cut down day's deadline. That means his 2023 season is over unless an injury settlement is reached with him. In the short term, the Bills will need another quarterback soon, whether that be someone on the practice squad or a 53-man roster. Just Josh Allen and Kyle Allen is not enough. I agree. And I listen, Kyle Allen is not a very good backup quarterback, okay? When you are competing with Matt Barkley and it is a race in preseason who's going to be your backup, that's not good. And that's no shot on Matt Barkley, but Matt Barkley is just not in this stage of his career, especially, is not a backup quarterback. He's more of a practice squad quarterback, a guy that could come in the room, a veteran, could talk to the younger guys on the practice squad. Perfect guy, right? Perfect guy in preseason as well. But backup quarterback, you need somebody reliable, somebody who could fit in the system. And I don't think Kyle Allen does either, I'll be honest with you. But he is younger than Matt Barkley. He does have a better arm than Matt Barkley. He's just not reliable. He had a lot of turnovers and throughout his career. If you look at his career, a lot of interceptions. And I just do not trust Kyle Allen filling in at all if, God forbid, Allen went down for a couple games. So I definitely think the Buffalo Bills will go out, look for a decent backup quarterback. I know Colt McCoy's out there. PJ Walker's out there. There is a few others, I believe, that would probably fit better than Kyle Allen. The problem is you got to get a guy in here and you got to have him learn the playbook. So, they'll figure that out, but I have a feeling they will wind up signing one of those backup quarterbacks kids because you can't just I just do not have any faith in Kyle Allen. Hopefully we never see any backup quarterback and we're good to go, right? But yeah, just no good with Kyle Allen. All right. DeMar does it. Yeah, man, crazy, right, guys? DeMar Hamlin has made the roster. It's an amazing feat after his cardiac arrest. Listen, I agree, man. What a story, right? And I was saying all off season, I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll be back this season. I thought he'd be back in general. Like I thought he would be back the following season. I just thought it was probably too soon for him for mentally and physically. You know what I mean? Because that was such a traumatizing event, right? And I just didn't know if he was ready quite yet to go on a football field, right? But hey, listen, only he knows, right? And the doctors, obviously, right? So, man, it's crazy. What a crazy story that has been for DeMar Hamlin. Nothing but respect for that dude. And by the way, he played great in preseason, right? He looked very good. And they had him on special teams. They had him on at safety. He was all over the field making tackles. They even sent him in on some blitzes. So he looked the par. He looked good. He looked exactly like he did last year. I'll be honest with you, because he wasn't bad last year filling in. Still needed, some work, but man, I love the kid coming out of Pittsburgh, And I even love him even more now, man, for everything he's gone through. So it's awesome to see that he made the roster. I know early on, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if Jamar makes the roster, but I was thinking there's no way. The Bills are going to keep this dude around. And not only that, then he showed it on the field. So good for him. And I'm glad to see DeMar is back. Now, some moves to come. Question mark, right? And I do believe that moves are coming. Like Barkley going on IR, more moves such as that appear to be on the way. Barkley going in injury designation now means the season is over. However, if a player such as a linebacker, Balen Spector, makes the team, then goes on injury reserve, he's only is required to stay on the destination for 4 weeks. Then he can come back because the move was made after he was placed on the roster. Once that move happens, the Bills can then re-sign someone like linebacker AJ Klein, hopefully not, or receiver Andy Isabella. Reports indicate such a move could happen with Spector and potentially a few others. Stay tuned. Listen, I do not want AJ Klein so bad. Like, I'll take that back. He's not that bad. He's just not a very good pass coverage middle linebacker, and neither is Tyrell Dotson. And you all know who I want. Christian Kirksey is the guy that's floating around. He does have a visit with Buffalo. I don't know when that is. I'm assuming soon, because you want to get if you want to sign this guy, you need to get it done quickly so he can learn the defense, right? Get in the books, learn the playbook. But if you sign Kirksey, there's no reason to sign AJ Klein unless you want to put him on a practice squad. Which, yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't hate that either. You have a veteran waiting in the wings just in case, or you release Dotson and then you put Klein on the roster. That as well would make sense to me. Dotson, to me, I would cut or put him on the practice squad, whatever. I just do not like Dotson. I just don't like his play. I don't. And, I feel like they gambled. They rolled the dice early on, and it backfired. It did. It did not work out how they had it planned with Dotson. And now they're scrambling. And luckily for the Buffalo Bills, there is a guy, Christian Kirksey, available, you know, in free agency. So hopefully they get him in a visit. They don't let him leave the building. They get the contract signed, and he will be your middle linebacker when the season begins, depending on how fast he can catch on to the playbook. But he is a veteran, so I assume, he could catch on quickly. There is enough time, I believe, for him to at least get the knowledge down. So, man, get that deal done, man, because I fear going into the season with Dotson and Klein. I really do, guys. And Spector's just now getting back. I'm sorry, Spector. Terrell Bernard is just slowly getting back from that injury. He's still not right yet. So, once again, it's a soft tissue issue. You never know how that's going to linger on, man. All right, next up, draft picks out. Another offseason where the Bills have late round draft picks cut. It's a testament to the depth Buffalo already has on their roster. 6th and 7th rounders in cornerback Alec Austin and offensive lineman Nick Broker were let go. They will be priority practice squad additions if they clear waivers. And I agree. I really think that Austin and Garage, by the way, too, will make the practice squad. So we had some young guys later on in the draft, but that's how that works. By the way, Justin Shorter made the 53. However, I do see him getting placed on IR. Just a heads up with that. They're going to do that. They're going to do the same with golly. We were just talking about him. Man, I can't believe I just had a brain fart, guys. Sorry. Well, I can't believe that. Hold on, let me tell you the guy I was just talking about. The guy they put on 53 was. Sorry, guys. I just don't want to tell you something and then move on. Oh, Andy Isabella, I believe it was. So they're gonna wind up doing that as well. No, not Andy Isabella. What am I talking about? AJ Klein. I don't know. It was somebody I was telling you. They're gonna put on the IR. Guys, it's been a long listen, I work at nights, crazy. But anyways, they're gonna wind up putting him on IR if in my opinion. Oh, Justin Shorter. Justin Shorter, they're gonna put on IR. And let's see who else. And I think they're gonna wind up putting oh, Spectre. I'm sorry. Spectre as well. Will probably put on IR more than likely because they want to keep Spectre. I think they're intrigued with Spectre as well. So, anyways, guys, any other takeaways that you have from the 53-man roster that kind of was like surprising to you? I would say the only other surprise, and it wasn't, by the way, the Boogie Basham being traded wasn't really a surprise for me. I saw that coming. But I guess you could call it a surprise because we traded a second round pick. The other move that I thought kind of felt a little I was a little surprised by it was Questenberry getting released. Though I like that and I think it's the right decision. I just felt like Sean McDermott would keep that guy around because he loves those veteran type players. But kudos to him for going with the younger player and understanding that his time, Questenberry's time, is done in Buffalo, right? And maybe he gets picked up by another NFL team. I don't know, but he wasn't doing it here with the Buffalo Bills. And then obviously Ike Bacher. I feel really bad, super bad for that dude. Dealing with injuries so early in his career. It just really took a toll on him, set him back, and he just was not the same player. That we drafted, obviously going through those leg injuries, ACLs. And I have a feeling Tommy Doyle, same thing, 6'8", 330 pounds. That's 2 ACLs on two different knees, right? Left and right now that he's gone through. More than likely it probably ended his career. And I hate to say that. And maybe he'll bounce back and I'm wrong, but he's an athletic offensive lineman, and that's just going to take a toll on what he does best. So I wish him well. I hope he gets back. And maybe tries it again, but I just have a feeling that he probably is the end of Tommy Doyle his time in the NFL, in my opinion. But like I said, who knows what a player can do. I can't speak for him, but anyways, guys, other than that, I would say everything has gone accordingly. Like everything I predicted, the 53 and most of you guys too. I think everybody had it right. I don't think anybody had it wrong that I watched, that all the other Bills content creators or media out there had it. Kyer Elam is still interesting to me. I got to be honest with you. I thought maybe there's a possibility that he could be traded, and you still never know, guys. And by the way, this is the initial 53-man roster. Things are going to change. Players are going to be cut. Players are going to be put on injury reserve that they want to save because they're going to want to pick up a free agent, right? A backup quarterback, a middle linebacker, and maybe another offensive lineman. So just a heads up, just be watching the ticker because things are going to probably change during the week as far as additions go and people getting cut, released, practice squad, injury reserve. So just keep an eye on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, obviously come here because I'll give you the latest updates. And by the way, tomorrow is Mafia Means Family podcast at 7:30. It's the return of Mini Mafia and Mafia Mom. And they're a great show, man. So tune in to them because they're going to give you the recap of the Buffalo Bills offseason, give you their predictions for this season. It's a fun show. So do me a favor, guys, support the channel by watching them tomorrow. And they go live at 7:30. And then me and Mikey will be on at Friday at 8:30 for Friday Night Lights. And then Saturday at 6 o'clock, the AFC East Shakedown is back, baby. And I have everybody this time. I have a Jets content creator, Jedi Kev from BX Sports. I got Trevor and Juan from Sports Dynasty. I got Curtis from Ace Per Head, Captain D, and I got me, myself, and sometimes I'll have Mikey on. It's going to be a fun ride this season with AFC East Shakedown. That's at 6 o'clock this Saturday, and then 6 o'clock moving forward every Saturday. So, guys, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.